Anything out of that? Oh. On. Hmm. Oh, you know what? There's one thing I forgot to do. Okay, so sorry. I figured maybe it's a good idea just to welcome you via webcam before I actually go to desktop and stuff. And actually, okay, so today I'm not gonna start right out working on the story stuff. I got this other stuff I gotta do, and maybe I should have done it off screen, but off. I say off screen, but I mean off stream, basically, which is also off screen, anyways. But so yeah, I have a couple of things to do that I might should have already done, but I figured, it's all part of the process, anyways. Even if it's boring, maybe you'll find it boring. So I'll switch to desktop in just a second. There's a couple of things. I've been a little bit lax about my I still record the little clips at the end about my progress that eventually should go to editing videos, but I haven't been keeping up with my editing. Oh, you know what? Let me see something here. Oh, that was 34. That was the last one. So when 36 comes around, I start posting every 2 weeks because that's when I started. I instead of doing it once a week, I was doing it once every 2 weeks. Pardon me. Anyways, that's not that important. But so basically, I have a bunch of recordings that I have not converted to MP4s. I usually use Handbrake to convert the MKVs from OBS, and just so that I can make sure of the frame rate and stuff. This constant frame rate, none of this weird variable frame rate junk, and then and that also compresses it to an acceptable level where it's much smaller than the original. I'm still keeping the originals for a while. I don't know how long I'll keep the originals, but if I ever decide to get rid of the originals for whatever reason, maybe I'll be done with those for some reason and I need the space, then I'll eventually delete them, or I'll still have the MP4s. But anyways, I haven't done that for this week's because I've been falling a little bit behind in that department. And then uh, what I wanted to do on Friday was I wanted to do a rename, which is kind of tough through GitHub Desktop. There's a couple of steps to go through, I think. I asked Grok. I don't know if I asked Grok or ChatGPT. Anyways, I asked one of them. But or I can look on a tutorial or something. But it's kind of involved where you can't just rename a directory because then it just says it doesn't it can't find it. So you have to redirect where it can find the Git files, and then I guess I don't know. I guess you can't rename something in GitHub Desktop itself, but then I should be able to go into the website. In fact, I'll probably do that off screen here. Um, Actually, let's just do that now while I'm still on webcam here. Give me a quick second. GitHub.com. Need to sign in. And there we go. Okay, good. Now I can go ahead and I'll stick that up there. But okay, so this is the thing with the editor map, and then this is the layout tool version. And what I want to do is I want to rename this to something with like underscore em or something. And let's see something here. Pardon me. Um, let me think for a moment. I wonder if there's a way of keeping the previous changes. In other words, could I could I turn this into the layout tool version? Then I wouldn't even necessarily have to do a like a rename. It wouldn't exactly be a rename. It'd be a replacement of files. So that way I keep all the changes up until the point. I might could do that. What did I what was deleted? Was anything deleted? Well, the things were changed. Some of the names and stuff were changed. Um, let me think for a second. Yeah, you know, I could probably do that, couldn't I? I do a backup first, obviously, and then I could copy the files into. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I should switch to desktop first though, so that you're not just looking at my face the whole time. Um, I might do this first, and then I'll figure out. Well, actually, you know what I'll do? What I was going to do, anyways. These are from the last update. This is like 41 or 42 or something, and then what's in here is the last 2 weeks worth. There's actually more than there's 12 files because a couple of them I did double videos. I didn't do it on all of them, but I because I'm splitting up in between the two streams every day. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it temp holding. I'll call it holding. I mean, that's just until I can. So we move everything in there until I can actually get to moving those other files over, creating the folders for that, then using Handbrake on those other ones, and then moving those over, and so on and so forth. So yeah, once I get to that, and that way I don't have to do that here, and then the next thing I can do is here. Let's go to dev stuff here, and let's go to redot and redot projects. Open a new tab. And okay, so wow, only 2 people here. That's because I'm not doing anything, I guess, or maybe it's just because I didn't do a like preview deal, and I hurriedly posted stuff up here so people aren't seeing it. Whatever. I mean that's all right. Whatever. You know, it was great having 11 people like join in the other day, but and it's Monday, so Monday drags on anyways. Okay, so let's see something here. I don't want to do everything. In fact, what's funny is the documents here. Let's do something here. Let's do a copy. Whoa. What do I do? Control Z, whatever. Okay, copy, paste. Let's rename this. Phase 1. EM, original or old? I almost should do version numbers here, but yeah, I mean, I'd still have to do a rename, and even this, I don't know. There's no elegant solution to do this because I'd have to go into GitHub. I'd have to go ahead and rename the repository in there. Then somehow I'd have to change the directory here, and then I'd also have to change where it points to, so GitHub Desktop can see it. It's kind of a big mess. So I'm gonna go ahead and say editor map version, right? And let's Okay, so we're in the EM, and I'm going to delete Git, I believe. I'm going to delete the Git files here from this. Delete. Delete. And it should be fine because delete. Now, let's start up GitHub Desktop here. And phase 1, no change. LT should have... I don't know why LT has change. Maybe because I moved some around. Moved some rooms around. I'll just say that, just so I'm up to date here. And honestly, I might even keep this LT version on the server or anything. I might just detach that, remove it from the remove it as a repository. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much, but I might do that. Anyways, let's go back up here. Let's go to channel lands 1. Everything is still here. Let's go sort out all the Git stuff. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to scripts. This is all editor map stuff here. And okay. So what I think I'll do is I'm just adding files, I believe. And now I don't think I modified anything. I hope I didn't. I wonder if I go into LT and rooms, select all. I forgot you can't select all from the menu here. Copy. Now let's go back up here. Let's go back into phase 1. Go into rooms. Let's go ahead and just paste. And replace all files, replace files. Okay, that's good. This is just to make sure that everything is kind of up to date here. Because all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the scenes. Let's see. Copy. And then we're going to plop it right into this. Paste. And yeah, let's go ahead and replace. I guess we'll replace all of them. That's all right. See, now I have the 2 scene files, and then I'll actually go into the project and delete the editor map stuff. I'll close everything and delete editor map and just have the layout tool stuff. And then of course the reason I backed it up is just in case I delete something or I don't copy something that needs to be copied or whatever. Okay, so we did this. We did the rooms. We did the scenes. We need the scripts. So copy, and then let's go into scripts, paste, and we'll replace anything. See, now it has a few extra dealies that have to do with the old thing, like custom line, and then the editor map, the editor prefixed scripts. So, okay, so let's go back to that. Let's go back to LT now. Add-ons, I shouldn't need to change the add-on because I didn't change the add-on in there. So it should be... I don't know. The add-on... Did I change it? Yeah, let's do this. We'll go ahead and copy it. Copy. We'll go back into a redot projects, and we'll go to back into phase one, and we'll go into add-ons, and we'll paste, and then applies to all files. Merge. Merge. And then replace. So, okay. So basically, I'm just basically changing the main one to equal what's in here. So we got scripts, we got, okay. The design document is going to stay the same because that's the one that I was working from. I was not working from the LT version. Like I said, I might take the LT version off once this is working, completely off of, like I'll put it as, I'll keep it as a backup, but I'll like put it somewhere, like wherever I'm keeping old stuff or whatever. Fonts, okay, rooms backup doesn't need to, we did scenes, we did scripts. Layout tool text, what's this? Oh. Okay, that's okay, because it's gonna be the new one. Okay, so now, see, I still only have two. I guess it's, I don't know. Is it because it's boring? Is it because it's Monday and people just aren't really caring to come in or whatever? Or is it because I didn't do a preview thing? I didn't do a preview thing on Friday and got lots of people in there for some reason. Maybe it's because Friday people kind of tend to take off too, and Mondays they tend to go to work and not like want to do stuff, and so maybe that was kind of the deal there. Anyways, I hope everything is working all right. Does that mean we have one and yeah, one and one. Anyways, thanks whoever is watching if it's not myself. It could be myself, but regardless, thanks for watching if it's not just myself. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and we're going to run favorites. We're going to run redot. We're going to open phase one. Now, everything should be the same because I didn't delete anything yet. But here I'm going to start closing things here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close editor map. And we're going to go to scripts. And we're going to close. I'm going to close this. We're going to close that. Close that. Okay. We're going to custom line 2D. We're going to close that. Okay. Close. Close. Okay. Now, after doing that, we're going to do some deletions here, which hopefully won't be too damaging or won't be a problem. We are going to go to, we're going to take editor map, and we are going to remove editor map. We're going to delete editor map. Or deleted permanently. Okay, I am going to, well, for right now, I'll do this and then I'll check the folders to make sure that they're actually removed permanently. If not, then I'll go ahead and do that. So we do that. Delete that. I'm gonna delete these. Remove those. Okay. And so now everything is itching. Okay. So now, before I do anything else, I'm going to check. We're going to go into phase 1. We're going to go into scenes, and it no longer, right, it just layout tool, right? Okay, we're going to go to scripts. Just layout, the layout prefix and the multi-line 2D, which is fine. And I think that's all right. That's all. That's the only thing that I changed, like that I removed, or however you want to say it. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to open up the layout tool scene. So, and I'm going to look at it first. Okay. That's and let's do a thing where I copy and move it around a little bit. Okay. That's all right. Actually, let's do the thing here. Let's move this to the right. It doesn't really matter. And we're going to save room data. It's just going to save all the metadata, really. So that way, when I go to scene, reload, save scene. Or actually, let's go ahead and save it. Scene, reload, save scene. And everything is, it should be. And if you notice, they get chunky, the lines get chunky, and that's just basically because I wanted to make sure that I could still see it, that it didn't like dissolve into nothing. Even though you can't really read the actual rooms themselves. But as you zoom in, it gets some. And then we can still drag this around and do the same thing here. Okay, and then that doesn't matter, but I'm just making sure it all works, and it does seem to work fine. We're gonna put this down here for a little ways here. We're gonna go ahead and save room data, and here, something like that. Yes, save room data, make sure everything's saved. Okay, it looks like everything is working. So now let's go to the script editor and let's just pull these up. Layout door, layout room, layout tool, and so now it should look like what it's supposed to look like. Okay. All right. Now when I go into GitHub Desktop, it's going to have a whole heck of a lot to merge layout tool into main project. Okay, we're going to commit. That's a lot of commits. I'm sure it's not going to take that long, but it's there we go. Now let's go to let me do a thing here. Okay, so this is the backup of the original with the editor map and everything. This is so what we're going to do is we're going to do a copy, and I'm going to do a paste, and then I'm going to leave that name as copy. It doesn't really matter that much because eventually I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be deleting this. I just kind of did this just in case something goes wrong. So we're going to take that, and we're going to take get attributes. I don't have to get ignore file apparently, which is okay, I guess. And then we're going to delete these. Okay. I'm going to leave the copy as it is. And then I'm going to try to go into, let's check out LT. And what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to remove it. I'm not sure how exactly. Remove. Ah, I can do both, can't I? Okay, let's do it. Now, question is, it's gone. And then, of course, we can rename this LT, like so. And then I could take both of these, cut. I can go back up to dev stuff. I'm not sure where I put it, odds and ends. And we'll go ahead and paste this in here as a odds and ends. Maybe I could call it backup or something. Ooh, we're up to 6 people now. Awesome. Thanks everybody for popping in. And I'm doing some cleanup right now. If you're wondering what you're looking at. So basically, originally I was going to rename the LT as the main one, and then I was going to rename the LT to the main deal, and rename the main one to something like EM or something. What I ended up doing, and you can see EM up here. Here, let's bring it up. Just come on. How can I change that? Oh, there we go. Anyways, you can see EM up here, and what I did is I made a copy. Okay, so how did I do this? Okay, so I made a copy of this, copy of the main one, and then I removed the get stuff, and then I renamed it EM, and then I went to, what am I looking to do here? Redot projects. See, now there's just the one project, which is fine. Okay, so, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I copied so this is all the stuff in the layout tool version. So I copied the script files, the multi-line and everything, class and everything, to the main one. And then what I went ahead and did is, since I had a backup of the main deal, I went ahead and deleted the editor map or the old version files. And then what I did is I made a copy of the layout tool version, and then I went into GitHub Desktop, removed it, actually had it deleted, and then renamed this to, got rid of the copy thing at the end. When you copy something in the same folder, it puts a copy in parentheses at the end of the file name, of the folder name. So, so now this is all what's left of the original, and then when we go over here, we go back to projects. There's the older projects folder, of course, but then there is, oh, I had something here that's called backup 1. That's interesting. I don't think it has any, I might should have put, maybe I should do that. Here, let's do that. Not odds and ends. Let's go ahead and cut, and let's go back over here, and older projects, and then just go ahead and paste there. And that way, that belongs there. Anyways, okay, so now all we got is the main one. So I'll just be working from the main one. How about that? And just in case you don't know what's going on here, what's going on here is the fact that all of these lines now are drawn in one class. Let me bring that up real briefly. I don't have to really go through it, but oh, I didn't add it in there. Where's multi-line? There we go. So multi-line is just it's a little bit more substantial than the other. In fact, this stuff, I actually should get rid of some of this extra flotsam here. Maybe that's the only thing that I commented out that was actual code that needed to be commented out. Oh, yeah, I'm starting to do the thing where I'm making it look more like C-sharpish, sort of. Not really, but kind of. Where it will let me do parentheses, I do parentheses. Like in the if statements, it'll let me do parentheses. In the for loops, it does not. I can put semicolons at the end. It just ignores the semicolon, which is cool. I almost wonder if you couldn't just type something blah, if it would just... Okay. Because you'd almost think that you could, since it allows semicolons, it ignores the semicolon, you'd almost think that it would, it could be doubled as a comment, but maybe not. Maybe you can put multiple things on multiple lines, and you need the semicolon to do that. Maybe that's the deal. Here, let's do something real quick. Let's do this, and yeah. So that's why semicolons are allowed, I'm assuming, and that's fine. Anyways, so I'm starting to put like semicolons. Actually, I wonder if I can do a parenthesis on a return. If I can, and it's not balking at me, which it's not. It's actually pretty good. Okay, so anyways, this is the multi-line. It draws multiple lines. Have it actually draw to the center of the room instead of to the edge, or a particular edge. If you ever look at Twine on... See, I hit 6 and then it dropped down to 5. Now we're back down to 4 because I guess I ramble too much. Apologies for rambling, by the way. So if you ever... Well, I could pull it up, but I don't have to pull it up. Okay, let's pull it up. I don't know if it's twinery.org. It is twinery.org. Use the browser. And because my cookie is still here, the story is still here, which is kind of cool. I didn't actually save it, but it's still in here. So probably if I... Okay, so notice here how if I select something, see how it moves? And see how it's like behind the... It actually... Anyways, yeah, you notice how it's behind? You'd almost think that that's starting in the center, right? This somehow goes into the center. I don't really know if it doesn't start with at the edge or not, or whatever. But if you notice, it just kind of rotates around. And so I imagine that the lines are drawn from the center. They have a center point, and then of course it does the arc here, which is why it kind of looks kind of weird. It doesn't look like it actually meets up in the middle exactly. But noticing that the arrow moves around the outer edge. Now, if I were to put an arrow on this, let's go back over here. Let's go to a single. If I put an arrow on this here, it would follow. So you can see it looks like it's following the edge. Okay, let's put that back. Let's do a single here. Let's just go up to the top, I guess. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Oh. So if you notice, if I move it, look how it traces the edge of the the rectangle, right? And that's just because it's moving around the center. So if you don't see the line behind here, which you do right now because it's semi-transparent, which I may or may not leave, but if I draw an arrow that points to the edge here, where it's along this line here, then it's going to look like the arrow's going to ride along the edge here. So it's almost like it's kind of a built-in thing, you know. Anyways, I decided to do that. I decided because if you looked at an older version of Twine, which I did at some point, or at least some screenshots, they actually moved straight. There were straight lines from the middle. They didn't have the fancy curve, and but that was essentially doing the same thing. So I figured that's a good thing to have it drop to the center. And then, of course, in the actual when I run the scene, let's see, which is which? Run specific scene, run current scene, right? Now, obviously, I can't do anything because I don't have code to do it. It is drawing the line, it's drawing the room basically, just like it does in the editor. So I'll have to actually get code to actually move this, be able to pan around the scene and everything. In fact, I might even put a grid up like what Twine does, just because it makes sense that you could be able to see essentially the canvas or whatever, so you can see it moving that ways. But I have to put it all in. I have to put a camera. I have to put the controls. You know, it's all built into the editor, but here I have to kind of do it manually. So, and by the way, that was this up here. See, this is all that's showing in here. But yeah. Anyways, I don't know why I go off on these tangents and stuff, because I should be really working on the thing here. But okay, so anyways, debugger errors. Oh, separator Y and center Y is never used. Where's that at though? Oh, I don't use separator or center Y now because I'm not calculating it here. I created a function. Okay. Y. Never used in the block if it's. Wait a second. Center Y. But you know what? Okay. When I deleted those other lines, I think I don't need to calculate center because I get the center from here. So vbox.position_y. Let's see something here. Because I think now I can probably even remove some of this stuff. We'll see here though. Control K. What is it? Declared, name labels declared but never used. Okay. VBox. Panels never used. Hey, I think we just I realize this is part of the layout tool, this is part of the coding, and I should be working on story here, but because I'm doing this other stuff here. I'll get to the story soon enough. In fact, here in a second. Um, so this being the case, I don't even need any of that extra stuff either. It's superfluous now, which is awesome, I think. Let's go ahead and scene, reload, save scene. I'm just making sure that. Wait a second. Why? That's weird. Very weird. Oh, interesting. Huh. Why did that do that? Very interesting. That is very. What is going on here? I mean, is this correctly to the middle? Is that the? I think that's the correct middle. Why is it doing that? Huh. Well, I do have a little bit of something going on here. Let's do something here. Reload save scene. It's all right. Still doing it. That's pretty weird. Why should it be doing that? Okay, let's see something here. Layout tools, go to process, which is going to be at the very bottom. Update overlay. So get children rooms layout room if room that previous position does not equal room dot position. Line overlay dot update lines. I don't know if this will. Here, I'm gonna try this. Let's put this underneath that if statement. Go ahead and reload save scene. Huh. Shoot, I might end up having to switch. I might have to. I might have to do this my story stuff in the second half instead of the first half here, because this is a bug. I have no clue as to why. Room is layout room. Somehow update lines is not updating the inbound. Why is that not the case? Print room. Let's do something here. Let's room dot ID plus position changed. That. Hopefully it doesn't go to output. Okay, that's not right. Okay, first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that this is up there anyways, even if that didn't fix the problem. Dang it. Can't get it to stop. Stop. Control X. Control S. Okay. That was kind of hairy. Okay. We're only going to update the previous position when the position has been changed. At least, right. So, let's go ahead and reload save scene. And position changed. Okay. Let's go back into script. Okay, so I'm going to do a swap here. In fact, why don't I go ahead and actually let's go over here. Can I edit or do I need to go into the deal to edit it? All right, fine. Let's go into your videos in the new tab and let's go to live. So this first thing is I'm going to put that down at the bottom. That. And then I'm going to go ahead and say update but spending so much time with the code that I decided I will do the story stuff in the second stream. So right now I'm working on a bug in the tool. Okay. Oop, cancel. Not what I meant to do. Let's hit save here. And I can go ahead and close that. And then over here, let's just open a new tab. Let's go ahead and edit this. Spent so much time in code that I will do story stuff part 2. Okay. I'm mostly just here indie dev indie game dev UI QA adventure, and let's go ahead and save that. Okay. It's not that important. Okay. So I don't know, most people that will see okay. And so I just changed it so to read that I'm going to be doing, actually let's switch to the restream tab. Let's refresh that. Okay. Okay, updated descriptions for both live stream to reflect current state. Okay, something like that. Okay, so we update, then we save the. Okay, I don't even need this in here now. So now we got to go into update lines, and we got to see if there is a reason. Update lines. We're going to see if there's a reason that inbound is not being recalculated like it's supposed to be. Line collection. Oh. No, part of the line collection. Oh, keep existing color though. So both of these are supposed to do the same thing. They're supposed to do. It's only modifying start and end here. Okay, so inbound has nothing to do with that. If lines has inbound, check to see the room line collection as an entry for the current room, and then update the end position of that particular line. If the So we're going through each inbound deal. I think I got to print out here. I need to see if the inbound is updating first of all. So let's do that. Print inbound updating for, let's see, has room ID. Lines inbound. Updating. We'll just go ahead and say I'm a room.id, something like that. And let's just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and reload save scene. We're going to this. Updating wizard view. Because it's updating the doors, it's not updating the inbound. Why is that? Because Wizard U2, or whatever one I'm using, should have the link to this means it's updating the doors, it's not updating. Okay. Huh. Okay. Something's not updating like it's supposed to be. Okay. Hmm. There's something I can do though. Let's go ahead and reload save scene again. And that is, if I click on this, okay, inbound. Wizard U is the inbound. Um, okay. Lines is going to be the whole thing. Okay, so okay, if lines has Wizard U, which it should. Okay, let's do print inbound equals plus or comma that. Reload save scene. Okay, something happened. Oh. What is... That's weird. What's going on? All right, fine. Print. Let's do that. Save. Thank you. I know it's acting weird, but it's acting weird. Inbound for room.id plus room.id plus equals plus inbound. Reload save scene. Oh shoot. Okay, so that means update line or lines is not being called. Is that correct? Right, this is update lines. What is going on here? Update lines, room ID. So that means that should equal. Oh, maybe, okay, maybe that's the problem. Let me go into thickness. Huh. Okay, that shouldn't matter though. That has nothing to do with it. Okay, so that has nothing to do with it. All right, all right, all right. I'm trying to figure out how come inbound is not working. Apparently, it's not working. Apparently, when you move it, it's not updating. So, what is the problem? Update all lines with line thickness. Okay, let's do one thing though. Let's not handle Zoom just now, just in case something's happening with that. So reload save scene. Inbound for Wizard U. Why is I don't really get what's going on here though. Print previous no room position changed for room room.id. All right, let's go ahead and reload again. Reload save scene. Wizard U2. Room position changed for Wizard U2. Selected node, Wizard U2. Okay. So we know that that's happening. Line overlay, update lines. So let's go into the multi-line tool. Let's go into update lines. We're going to say okay, so I'm going to print updating lines for not for from for comma room ID. That. So now when we do it, reload save scene. Okay, that's fine. I don't care what it's doing right there. Updating lines for Wizard U2. Room position change for Wizard U2. Got it. Okay. So far it's going fine. So in here, it's updating the lines. Now, this is all stuff that's probably unnecessary here. In fact, let's go ahead and I don't know, maybe I'll leave it. For door and door data. Interesting. I don't actually have the closing bracket for that. It doesn't matter though because these are all on indents, so that means that this here is fine. In for door data. For door. In for door. Okay. Updating lines, get door data. We could have returned, so let's go. Okay, print. Oh. Okay, I get it, I get it, I get it. There are no doors, which there doesn't happen to be doors on those lines, then return. But I'm doing this inbound stuff. Now this is, of course, this is the door stuff here. Line collection. My question is, this is all lines. This is not line data or anything like that. So I should be able to put this on top of. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. And also, we have this do redraw thing, which we might want to redraw. Okay. Okay, so a do redraw might have to be called twice because it's got to be called after either or. So I need to make this an either or. So in order to do that, so it was skipping. If it didn't have any doors, it was skipping the inbound also. So glad I could figure that one out at least. Now we're down to three viewers now. Well, thank you, three viewers. But here, it's almost time for my break. Okay. Where's that? Get door data. No need to update the lines. And still might want to update. So that's why you shouldn't return. Okay, so let's do something here. Let's take return off. Well, let's do one thing here. Let's copy update lines. Just do this way so that in case I mess anything up, I can just go back to it. Okay. Control C. V like that. Yeah, I know. Update lines is already there. I'm gonna call this update lines. Hold. We're gonna save it like that. Now, what we're gonna do in update lines, of course, is we're gonna move this return. Here's the return after the door data. And actually, I'm going to take this off. We're going to say is greater than 0. But instead of returning, we are going to do something else here. I'm going to actually do this. So then we're going to go through all of the stuff to there. And your data. Okay. So, and we're going to take all of these. There. Okay. Have this in. So now, so that way the rest of this should work. So let's go back to the 2D deal. Let's go back to this. Let's go to scene, reload save scene. Okay, that's all right. And now it does like it's supposed to. Awesome. Inbound for updating lines for Wizard U2. Inbound for Wizard U2 equals Wizard U. Inbound updating Wizard U2. And Bob's your uncle. Okay. Alrighty. So now let's remove a lot of this stupid print statements here. Updating lines for. I mean, I could need it again, and it would be better if I don't know. Whenever I comment out, I just end up having a bunch of commented lines and stuff. So, but we'll do this right now, and maybe I'll delete it afterwards. What do we got here? Okay, this print inbound for inbound updating. Let's go ahead and take up to 8 lines old and just delete it. That. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this out. Go ahead, go here. I'm going to go ahead and reload save scene. Everything's good. Everything is still good. Room change position. We will go ahead and we will remove that print. We will leave the previous position thing underneath this. So we only need to update that when something's been moved. Okay, I'm gonna close this. We're gonna scene scene reload save scene. Okay, looks like everything is working okay. Okay, we'll leave that. We'll leave everything like it is. What it is. What it was, what it looked like. Line overlay. Okay. Save that, doesn't really matter. Okay, so I think. Oh, yeah. The one last thing is, of course, to be able to remove that superfluous stuff, which was this stuff with the name label here. So if I go ahead and do this, okay, Control S, goes out, reload save scene, everything still works, awesome, and awesome. Saving should still work too, actual saving, reload save scene, and everything just works like it's supposed to. How about that? Good or what? Okay. Alright, everything's working like it's supposed to work. Finally. Alright, I still have 30 minutes left in this part. So I'm gonna probably get the AI to help me work on like panning and zooming and being able to move rooms around. So actually the first thing, I guess since it's 30 minutes, I should go ahead and continue, I guess, working on the data saved for. Okay. Removing line overlay. Moving line overlay. Move the line overlay at the end so it's longer in the tree. So reload. Alright, let's leave that. Okay. Created. I keep the room data saved, but the created, I'll have to find created so I can like comment it out or whatever. So let's go back over here. Let's just go ahead and chuck this out here. That. And then let's search and find in files. We're going to find created period. Find in the layout tool. Created. All right. We're just going to comment that out. I'm going to do the saved one, so anything that's saved is going to be saved. Okay. Output. Clear it. Reload save scene. Okay. So if I hit save, what's going to happen? Room data saved for every room in there. Okay. Let's go ahead and find in files. Saved. Room data saved for, oh, up the top here. Save room data for room. Room, file name, string. So this only does one room at a time. So let's find save data for room. For room and get children. Get room children. I see the deal there. I'm not sure how to fix it. Okay, so basically what it's doing is it's going through all the rooms and it's calling save data on each of the rooms. Really, it should only save the data that was just modified. So let me think about. I think I'll need a special function that is going to check to make sure that the room was actually modified. Okay, it's probably not as complicated as it sounds. So let's go into rooms. Let's choose any room. We'll choose this one. We have description. ID. I don't know if I have enough time to do this because of my thinking. Because what I have to do is I have to say if any of the door data has changed, um, if the description has changed, if the ID has changed, if the label has changed, description. Let's see, when do the inbounds change? The inbounds change only when you move. The inbounds actually change. Inbounds only change when it gets updated. So inbound is not going to change from something I do manually. It's going to be automatic after it rebuilds everything. So I don't have to worry about inbounds. I only have to worry about what's in the JSON file or the metadata. So if the position has changed, if the ID or label has changed, if the description has changed, or if the doors and door data has changed, then I can save it. Otherwise, I don't need to save it. Okay. So if I go to room data, let's see if I can do this one by one. And all I'm going to do here in the save room data function is I'm going to detect when there is a change, if there is a change, okay? So if there's a change, I will detect it. Get inbound data. I'm gonna put this as a little. Here, let's do a Control K on this. Control X on that. I'm going to presume that I won't be using this again. However, I will defensively new, paste, file, save as, and we'll go into the odds and dev stuff, odds and ends, and we'll just call it old invalid save code snippet.txt. Like that. And that isn't a thing, so that way I don't get distracted. Okay, so file access is okay. If it's okay, and it file access. So I'll actually do this. We'll do this. That's all right. And we'll just do. I'll do a couple of things here, like so. I won't worry about it, but I'll just go ahead and add my formatting as I see fit. It's not good at formatting. All right. See, I don't have a thing telling me when it's been changed here, so it's just going to do it right out. Maybe I should do it at the change area. For instance, ID. And really, it just needs to be, any of them needs to be true to save the whole room. I mean, it could still save the whole room, but if none of them are true, don't save the room at all. So when I get to ID and I somehow I change the ID, if the ID gets changed, I got to be able to detect when that happens. Then we set ID change to true. Oh. But see, that happens in the room. In other words, you go into the inspector and you change ID whenever ID is changed. And it doesn't matter if it continually does it for each and every change. Yeah. Maybe in the it'll be in, let's see, will it be in the layout room? Layout. It's actually the room data, isn't it? So, two things. One is I can either do it in the layout room thing, because I can detect when a change is being made, or yeah, it'll still be in layout room, won't it? Because layout room, when you modify ID, it actually goes into the room and modifies it because as a property. So when you set it to something new, it goes in there. It calls it calls the layout room code, which then changes the other part. And so in layout room, what we could have is we could have like what has changed, right? What has changed since last upload, last thing. I think I could do it that ways. I don't know if I really have the time to do that, but at least I could start, I guess. Let's go to layout room and update name label, update description label. Okay. If not, it's inside tree safety check. Ensure the node's inside the tree. Name label. Get node or null. If name label text equals self room data label. Q redraw. Max retries. Call deferred. Update name label. It's going to call itself several times. So I think what I should do is name label, description label. Set door specs. Array. Okay, so whenever that's done, that could be a boolean, like door specs changed. Inbound is rebuilt, so inbound we don't have to worry about inbound. If we do worry about the door specs. The door specs is what's going to save the door data out. So we can do that there. And furthermore, the door data, no, door specs. It doesn't matter. It only matters when we update door specs. It doesn't matter when it actually appends the data. So whenever door specs is changed, whenever you start to type in it, it's going to automatically update, and it's going to automatically trigger this. So if I have a boolean set whenever that is being called, so I do the boolean. So I do each of the deals here. Property lists, properties append, ID, label, and description. Get property list. Turn properties. Get property, set property. ID, label, description. But we also need the doors. That's why you need the door specs. So I guess I do it up there. So it's whenever we modify any of these things. And it should only do it when we update those. Because that's when we update those, but it should also save whenever the metadata gets updated. So, okay, so I'll need a function called reset flags. That not flags in the traditional sense, I guess. But what it will do is it will go through each of these ones, ID changed, label changed, name label changed, door specs changed, reset is going to go ahead and set them back to false. So if any of them are true, then we go ahead and we go with this. We save the room. If, however, none of them are true, then we don't save it. That's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so let's do something here. I guess we're going to do it up here. Zoom level doesn't matter because it doesn't save to a file. I'm just gonna declare a few variables here. Var really it's the ID though. We're saving ID data. We're not saving name. We're deriving the name. So the name does not matter. Hmm. See, you can save, like I can modify the label and I can save it. Maybe I don't save it though. Let's go back here. Label is in there, so that is a separate thing to check. Okay. So and we're not even worried about doors. We're going to worry about door specs because you add doors through the door specs, I think. That's going to be another thing to think about, though, too, when I actually go to when I'm making the layout tool. If I add a door, I won't be adding door specs then. I mean, it won't work like that. However, I could still have it access the same variable, right? Modify the door. So I have to have separate flags for those two. So ID, label, description, door ID, door choice, door destination. So it'll have to be when it actually takes the door specs and actually manipulates it, I think. Apologies for scratching. That's not very nice to do on screen, is it? Apologies for that. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna call this stream a done deal. So stream 2, I'm actually gonna since I flipped, I'm gonna be working on story in part 2. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next stream in about an hour. Thank you for watching part